Just 4 days before Zion's NBA career was scheduled to start, word that he will miss a period of weeks to start this regular season because of a troublesome right knee. It's the same knee that he injured when he blew through his shoe at Duke, and he banged it up in a summer league game as well. Let's bring in Woj. Now, any definitive news on how much time or what the injury might be? What can you tell us here, Woj?
David, the Pelicans are still examining their findings from, some testing they did on that right knee of Zion Williamson. The good news for them is this. This is not a severe knee injury. They believe he's going to make a full recovery. But the expectation is he's going to miss a period of weeks to start the regular season in New Orleans. And they are still finalizing the exact timeline injury, but New Orleans is preparing to start their regular season without the #1 overall pick in June's draft.
Woj, we had heard this as knee soreness. Is there a point in time that people are looking at and saying he injured the knee here, or is it just something that's sort of accumulated over time?
That's unclear, David. He stayed back in New Orleans. The Pelicans went to New York, traveled there yesterday. He stayed back, had testing done, and they're still finalizing the diagnosis, but they have ruled out a significant or a very serious knee injury. But they are under the belief now that Zion will be out to start the regular season for an undetermined period of weeks. But there's confidence there. He's going to make a full recovery. And of course, they're going to be abundantly cautious with any injury with a player of this magnitude. You've seen already what he did in the regular season. The preseason, he had started, to really live up to a hype that we haven't seen for a player in a very long time. But they expect him back here in a period of weeks in New Orleans.
Yeah, really difficult news for that whole team, that whole fan base, and of course for Zion Williamson himself. There's so much excitement for him to make his NBA start, and now we're going to have to wait for a period of weeks. Woj with that story. So take a look at Zion. Made a huge splash in the preseason, as Woj alluded to. The first player in the last 20 years to average 20 points per game on 70% shooting. His 23 points per, also the most by a rookie in the last 20 preseasons.
Brian, so talk to me. What, in fact, are you hearing about this injury and how severe it may be?
Yeah, from what I am being told, Carrie, when they initially diagnosed this injury, they were concerned that this would potentially require a surgery that would have knocked him out for months. And getting the initial results back of the testing shows that it is not something that will require that. They are still going to have it evaluated by other doctors over the next 24 hours, so they may not have a timetable today, but the relief is that it's not going to be something that would require surgery that would potentially knock him out and threaten his season. So if you focus on the fact that he's not going to be there opening night and that he may not be there for some early season matchups, you're going to be disappointed. But if you were with the Pelicans yesterday when they first diagnosed this injury and first were looking at it, you would be of a much more optimistic tone because the good news has come back with the initial test.
All right. So you are saying that they actually heard about this some time ago, or we don't know the exact period of time, but they thought he would be gone for months. Now it's weeks, so they have caught in a break. And is this a case in which you're hearing that the Pelicans are just being extra careful?
As you can imagine, Carrie, especially with a player of his size, when you talk to NBA executives, there's two things every single one of them says about Zion. One, he's the most powerful player they have ever seen come into the league at his age. And two, they are worried about his legs with that kind of power and that kind of weight. David Griffin, as a general manager, completely overhauled the entire Pelicans medical staff, and their #1 priority is keeping Zion healthy. So you will see them be conservative, especially as you mentioned, this knee has had issues before, including the knee he sprained at Duke last season.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports analysis and highlights, download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.